Hey guys, welcome back to Weld.com. So we told you in a previous episode that we were making some changes in the shop and we're going to be adding some new equipment. Well, it's here. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go ahead and get this set up because Koike's going to come in and give Mancub and I some one-on-one training on how to use some of the new features and functions, such as the OxyFuel cutting and the pipe cutting attachments over there. But before we get into it, we're going to go ahead and thank today's sponsor, Koike. They're the makers of the plasma cutting fluid we're actually going to be adding to the table to keep it from rusting and make sure it remains in pristine condition. So let's get into it.
Jason, how's it going over there?
What's up, Mike?
Feel pretty windy, so good?
All right, so we got everything unpacked, everything out of the box. We got it set up for the most part. We got the earth ground hooked up to the table. We're gonna go ahead now and fill it up with the water and the plasma cutting fluid. It's a 10x6 table, so it'll hold a 5x10 sheet without a problem. It's like 10'4" this way and 6'8" this way. And I've got about a 4.5 inch height as far as the water that I want to put in here. So that's roughly about 220 gallons. And then we have to mix this at 3%. So roughly 6.6 gallons is what we're going to throw in here. So I'm going to dump one entire container of the Koike plasma cutting fluid and about a third of that one. It's not an exact science. We'll get, ballpark figure. I want to make sure I have at least enough in here. If I have a little bit more, it's not going to hurt anything. So we're going to go ahead and start filling it up. All right, so we got the water level exactly where we want it. We're gonna go ahead and cut it off for now. Koike's gonna be in here tomorrow morning and we're gonna go ahead and get into the training. So I'll see you guys in the morning. Morning, guys. So we're back in the shop today. We've got Ben Kramer with Koike. He's gonna be doing some demonstrations, kind of walking us through some of the new features and functions of the table. Now, you guys are all familiar with the Shop Pro that we had in here for the better part of a year, and we actually showed you this table at FabTech. So now we're back in the shop, everything's hooked up. Ben, why don't you start walking through and telling us about some of the features this table has over the previous Shop Pro that we had.
Absolutely. One thing that you can see right up front, we've added a pipe rotator. This design is unique. It removes. So when you're not cutting pipe, you can cut plate when you want to cut pipe. Hangs right off the front of the table and right there, ready to use.
That's kind of one of the things we were talking about yesterday. When we're not using it, it's nice. You can pull everything off, put it up underneath the table. That way you can access for when you're doing plate cutting and all that.
Exactly.
Okay. And then this is obviously our chuck.
Yep, that's
gonna do all the rotation.
That's the rotation. It's actually got a spark arrestor built into it. So you can take a small fume extractor, hook it right up to it. It draws right through the chuck. It makes it really nice.
Okay, that's what we're trying to figure out is how do we hook up fume extraction, but if it pulls right through the chuck.
Right through the center of the chuck.
That's going to collect a good bit of it. So what? Tell us about some of those. We got a lot of gadgets hanging off the gantry. What's new over here?
Oh yeah, this one's the Cadillac. We got it all going on right here. Another feature that's unique to this table is the fold down torch holder. So when you're cutting pipe, you fold this down and you can reach out in front of the table, cut pipe, I-beam, box tube. Anything you can put in front of this table now, you can cut. It doesn't necessarily have to be on the rotator.
Okay.
Another feature this table has is our scribe. Now this is unique to Koike. This actually uses ohmic contact to sense the plate, so you get the exact same mark every time, and you can control the depth of the mark too. This also has OxyFuel. All these heads, they're all magnetic, so it's just pick, set down, whichever tool you want to use.
Whichever tool you need, you just kind of plug it.
You just pick it up, set it down.
What kind of thickness are we looking at as far as oxy-settling cutting?
Maximum on this table is going to be 2 inch.
Okay.
2 inch capacity. That's a full sheet of 2 inch on this table.
Probably a little bit bigger than what we're going to do here, but I mean, it's nice to have that option. And then the plate marker, for those of you that don't know, that's just going to scribe the plate, so you can actually do detailed images on here prior to cutting the part out. So you can do a lot more artwork. You can do piece marks on different plates. So if you were in a shop and you had to make a bunch of different parts and pieces, you can actually do all the piece marks on there, right?
Yes, and you bend lines, you can do across for a drill hole, a drill tap hole, a hole that maybe you couldn't cut with plasma, a smaller 1/8 inch hole or something like that.
Let's go ahead and get it running, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so why don't we go ahead and start off on some pipe, because I'm kind of interested in how to do, cut different copes and bevels on pipe. Let's go ahead and talk about that. Why don't you walk us through the process on how to set the pipe up, get it up in there so everything's ready to cut.
Okay, so the first step you're going to want to do is you're going to want to set your idlers, get them all centered to the pipe, and load the material, tighten the chuck, and you're ready to start going.
And then just level it off, get everything kind of squared and plumbed up.
So once we've got that done, the next step we're going to do is we're going to change over from plate cutting to pipe cutting. And we've got a button right here. It's going to bring the head of the machine right to us, so we don't even have to walk anywhere. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the plasma extension, and I'm going to pick the plasma head up off of the magnetic torch holder and attach it to the outer one. So now that we've done that, we're on the center of the pipe now. So we've just got to drive over and pick our spot where we want to start cutting. And that looks pretty good to me right there.
And then with this system, you can kind of just go through and pick out the profile of what you want to cut.
So we're going to start out here. We're just going to pick a simple shape to start with. And we're going to come in here and we're going to do a miter. So right here it shows us a 3D rendering of what we're going to get when we make this part. Now that I've done that, I am going to send it over to CAM. So now that we've brought it over to CAM, the next step we're going to do, we're just going to check our material, make sure we're working with mild steel. So we've got mild steel selected, we've got aluminum, we can do stainless. The next thing I'm going to check is make sure we're set to the right amperage. So this will automatically set all of your cut speed, your kerf, everything else.
Okay, just by selecting the 45 amps, or it's based off material thickness and type.
Exactly. Okay. So as long as you've got that selected, it'll take care of everything else.
Very similar to when we were doing plate with regular plasma. We had to go through the same selection process for material.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we brought it over here now. It looks a little funny, but it only shows you the tool path when you're in this screen. So we should be ready to rock and roll here.
Ben, let's go ahead and cut that same thing out. Let's do another miter.
Okay.
Cut that out, and then I just want to see out of curiosity how those two are going to fit together being mitered at a 45-degree angle.
All right, as you can see, there's going to be a little bit of cleanup, just like there would be with any other plasma cut part. But you can see your fit up here is nice and tight, and that's what you're going to get.
So outside of normal clean, I mean, once I go on there, I'm going to hit it up with a flapper wheel anyway, just to clean up any of the carbon deposits, get the dross off there. But other than that, I mean, it's a good fit up. I don't have to spend a whole lot of time reworking it, cutting it, checking it, cutting it, checking it. It takes a lot of the fit up guesswork out of it. Exactly.
You're going to get a repeatable part, and you're going to be able to do a repeatable process every time.
And you can do this with saddles. You can do it with, if I want to put a piece through this pipe, it'll figure all that out also, right?
Exactly. It's going to do all the hard parts, all the math, all the angles.
Yeah, we don't
It'll take care of all that. So you just tell it what you want, and then it takes care of the rest.
Cool. Let's go ahead and check out the plate marker.
Absolutely. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it back to pipe center and let it drive over to me. And now all I have to do is switch out the plasma head for the mark. Okay, so that completes the tool changeover. We're going to drive this down and we're going to ohmically sense the pipe with the scribe. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set sense marker 0, and it's going to come down and touch the pipe. Now, one of the unique features with our scribe, you can actually control the depth of the mark. We use ohmic contact to sense the pipe, so we have an absolute 0 every time we start a scribe part, and we have full control of the whole process.
That way it's consistent throughout the whole piece. You don't get different variations of depth in it.
Exactly. And then say your material wasn't level, you'll get the same scribe here, and you start over here, it'll be at a 0 to the material versus a program 0. I mean, you can go from a really heavy, a deep mark to a very light, you can barely even see it. So now I'm going to swap out the scribe for the plasma head, and we're going to go ahead and cut this part out. One of the reasons you might want to mark pipe is, say you're trying to lay out a centers for a drill operation, a drill tap operation, or you're just trying to lay out where somebody may weld something. So you could scribe in a square and weld in a square pipe to that without actually cutting a hole into the pipe.
Okay. So you can actually do layout, and then you can do piece mark, and you can do center marks and all that.
Exactly. You can even do part numbers.
Awesome. All right, so we went through the pipe cutting attachments. We know the plasma works on it. The plate marker works really good. Let's go ahead. I've never used oxyacetylene on a table before, so if you could walk me through and show me how that works.
Absolutely. Let's do it. So now we're going to switch from plasma to OxyFuel. So again, it's as simple as picking it up and moving it to the back. A completely tool-free change. All right, so now that we've drawn our part, we're going to move it ahead to cam. Now, OxyFuel is a little bit different than plasma cutting. There's more settings that you've got to actually put in for OxyFuel. So the first thing that we got to do is we got to switch from the PowerMax 85 tool to the OxyFuel. Now, again, just like plasma, you select the steel, you check it in, and you come over to your OxyFuel settings. This is where you would dial in your feed rate and your kerf width. Now, once we've done that, we're ready to cut just like we are with plasma, but you have to manually set your height.
Okay.
So that's the only major difference at this point between plasma cutting and OxyFuel.
Okay.
Now, we do have another feature that we're coming out with. We're actually going to use Ohmic Sense to take care of this setting right now.
It'd be just like the plasma.
It'd be just like plasma. So you come down, sense the tip to the plate, it's going to set that distance automatically.
Okay.
So that's one of the hardest settings to set on OxyFuel, and we're going to automate that. So I'm going to go ahead. You got a lighter? We'll light this bad boy up. So right now what it's doing is a preheat. It's preheating that plate to a kindling temperature.
Just kind of lead in, lead out, just like you would on plasma.
Yes. And that's it. So this is your typical OxyFuel cut. You can see we're running pretty good right here. We could dial this in a little bit better, probably come down just a little bit on the oxygen pressure. You can see at the top, there's not any real rounding at the top. If we're running too hot of a preheat, you'd see some rounding. But overall, the edge quality looks good, and I'm happy with this part.
I mean, that's a nice clean cut. I mean, you hit that with a Zerk wheel real quick, or a flapper wheel real quick, just to knock the dross off. And the carbon deposits, you're ready to weld.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. One thing that would help this a little bit would be if we lowered that water level a little bit. Got a little bit of an air gap in between there.
All right, Ben, we'll appreciate you taking the time to come out here and kind of explain some of this stuff to the viewers, some of the new features. If you guys are interested, I'll have the camera guy put a link in the description so you can get more information on this type of table, as well as the other products that Koike has to offer. We're going to go ahead and put a pin in it for this episode. Ben's going to hang out here and give Man Cub and I some additional training, so I don't look like any more of a fool on camera than I normally do when I'm trying to operate this thing. Appreciate you guys watching. Hope you learned something. Until next time, make every well better than your last.